The signal came in the dead of night, a faint pulse, a whisper against the endless black, not of human origin. It arrived in fragmented bursts, threading its way through the vast emptiness of space, carried on wavelengths no natural force could produce. At first, only astronomers noticed. Dr. Elias Carter, a senior astrophysicist at the Deep Space Array, was the first to decode the message. His trembling fingers traced the data, his mind struggling to comprehend. The signal was not random. It was structured, intelligent, precise. And within the layered frequencies, something was embedded, something chilling, a countdown.
The warning.
News spread like wildfire. The world stood still as governments, scientists, and military officials raced to interpret the meaning. The signal was old, far older than human civilization, but its accuracy was undeniable. It pinpointed Earth's destruction down to the hour, the minute, the second. At first, they laughed, a hoax, a cosmic joke. But then the sky changed. The moon, ever silent and distant, began to fracture. Seismic activity erupted. Without warning, fault lines split open, swallowing entire cities. Tsunamis devoured coastlines, and the sky bled fire as meteors rained down, as if the universe itself had been set ablaze. The message had not been a prediction. It had been a promise, and it had already begun.
The madness.
The world descended into chaos. Governments collapsed overnight. The streets became war zones as the terrified masses turned on each other. It wasn't just fear. It was something deeper, something primal. The signal was doing something to them. People began to hear it not through radios, not through satellites, but inside their own skulls. A whisper that gnawed at the mind, turning rational thought into a distant memory. They tore at their own flesh, clawed their eyes from their sockets, painting walls with their own blood as they scrawled the same message over and over. It is coming. It is coming. It is coming. Dr. Carter saw it firsthand. His colleagues, brilliant scientists who had spent decades mapping the stars, had turned into raving beasts. One had smashed his own head into a computer monitor until his skull cracked open. Another had ripped his tongue from his mouth, as if trying to silence a voice only he could hear. Elias locked himself inside his office, trembling, but the voice was inside, too. It wasn't a language, it was a feeling. Hunger, expectation, a call that no one could resist.
The arrival.
Dr. Carter watched the sky from the ruins of the observatory, his breath coming in ragged gasps. The countdown was nearly over. Military jets screamed overhead, launching missiles at nothing, desperate to fight what they could not see. In the distance, a nuclear blast lit the horizon like a second sun, but it did nothing to stop what was coming. Above, the heavens split apart. It was not a ship, it was something greater. A mass of writhing limbs and shifting forms, a hunger beyond comprehension. It dwarfed the earth itself, its body stretching across the void like a cancerous god, not an invasion or harvest. They had not come to conquer, they had come to collect. Dr. Carter's breath caught as the people below, those who were still alive, began to float. Limbs flailed, mouths opened in silent screams as they were lifted skyward, drawn toward the mass like iron filings to a magnet. Children, soldiers, old men, young women, it did not matter. It took them all. Some burst apart mid-air, their bodies unraveling into strands of light, absorbed before they ever reached the void. Others were dragged higher, higher, until their forms melted into the endless hunger above. Dr. Carter was the last to go, his feet lifted from the ground, his body weightless as he rose toward oblivion. His mind fractured, memories scattering like ash. In his final moment, he understood the signal had never been a warning. It had been an invitation, a beacon to call them home. And as the final second struck, the earth screamed.